Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plugging into something really cutting edge in the motorcycle world.
Yeah, we're looking at the BMW Concept RR. It's this really fascinating glimpse into where electric superbikes might be headed.
Exactly. And we're basing this on a great article from May 24th, 2025, BMW Concept RR, The Future of Motorcycling Unveiled.
Right. And our mission here really is to pull out the most important bits for you. What makes this bike tick, what BMW's thinking is.
And understand where the tech is going.
Precisely.
In this source, it's got everything: specs, features, comparisons, even pros and cons, FAQs, all the good stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty comprehensive.
Okay, so let's dive in. The BMW Concept RR. What's the big idea, the overall vision here?
Well, the article calls it a bold leap, which I think sums it up well. It's BMW trying to really redefine the electric superbike.
Not just to electrify an existing one.
No, not at all. It's about blending electrification, sustainability, and this really striking cutting-edge design. They're aiming high.
Okay, a bold leap. Sounds like BMW.
Yeah.
So the core of that has to be the powertrain, right? What's making it go?
It's fully electric, naturally. And the big thing the article points out is, well, instant torque.
Ah, that electric rush.
Exactly. All the power right away. They estimate about 134 horsepower, so 100 kilowatts.
Pretty potent.
Definitely. And, of course, zero emissions. That's a huge plus for riders who care about sustainability but still want that performance kick.
That instant power must feel, well, different. Let's talk looks, though. It sounds visually quite unique.
Oh, it is. The article mentions these futuristic aerodynamics, really sleek lines to cut through the air.
For speed and efficiency, I guess.
Yeah, both. But the materials are key, too. They've used a lot of lightweight carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber. Okay, that means light. How light are we talking?
The estimate is around 440 pounds or 200 kilos, which is, very competitive for an electric bike with this kind of power.
Right. And carbon fiber isn't just about weight, is it? What else does it bring?
Well, besides shaving off pounds, which massively helps handling, as we'll get into, it's also incredibly strong, durable.
Okay.
And let's be honest, it looks amazing. Really high-tech, premium feel.
Oh.
The article also highlights the integrated LED lighting and this kind of unusual floating seat design.
A floating seat. Interesting visual. Okay, so power, looks. What about the tech side? Connectivity, rider aids?
It's packed with tech. There's a big TFT display, one of those high-res screens.
Standard stuff now, almost.
Pretty much. It shows all your riding info, but it also connects to your smartphone. So music, calls, GPS.
All integrated.
Yeah. And they've got customizable riding modes, too, like Eco, Sport, and Track lets you adjust how the bike responds.
Tailoring the experience. Makes sense. Okay, great overview. Let's dig a bit deeper into some of these features. That instant torque, what does that actually feel like for the rider?
Right. So imagine twisting the throttle, and there's just no delay. None.
No waiting for revs to build.
Exactly. It's just pure, seamless acceleration. The article calls it exhilarating, and I think that's spot on. It's a very different sensation from a gas engine.
This is almost addictive, yeah. And the lightweight aspect, the carbon fiber, how does that translate when you're leaning into a turn?
It makes a huge difference in agility. The bike feels much easier to tip into corners, much more responsive.
Easier to flick around.
Totally. It takes less physical effort, holds its line better, lets you make quicker adjustments. It just feels more connected, more confidence-inspiring.
Especially important with batteries adding weight elsewhere, I suppose.
That's a good point. Lightweighting becomes even more critical.
And the aerodynamics, you said it helps efficiency.
Yeah, less drag means it slips through the air better. That helps with top speed, sure. But maybe more importantly, for an EV, it helps with range.
Squeezing out more miles per charge.
Exactly. Every little bit helps.
And the smart features, the connectivity, it's more than just playing music, right? There's a practical side.
Oh, absolutely. Having key info clearly displayed is a safety thing. Navigation keeps you on track. And those riding modes, they let you adapt the bike's power delivery. Maybe dial it back in the rain, for instance. That enhances safety, too.
Good point. Maybe diagnostics down the line.
Potentially, yeah. These connected systems offer a lot of possibilities.
Okay, and weaving through all this is that sustainability angle. Zero emissions is the big one.
Right. It's core to the concept, but the article also mentions something important. A liquid-cooled battery system.
Liquid-cooled? Why does that matter?
Well, batteries generate heat, especially under hard use. Liquid cooling is much more effective than just air cooling at keeping temperature stable.
Okay.
That means consistent performance, even when you're pushing it, and it also helps the battery last longer. Better longevity.
protecting that expensive component. Got it. Okay, so we've covered the concepts. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the numbers. What are the key specs?
All right, so the article lays them out. We've got that estimated 134 horsepower, the instant torque. Battery capacity is estimated at 12 kilowatt-hours.
And what does that give you in terms of range?
Up to about 125 miles or 200 kilometers.
Okay, 125 miles. And charging?
With a fast charger, they estimate around 3 hours to get from 0 to 80%.
3 hours to 80%. Not bad. And the weight again?
Around 440 pounds, thanks to that carbon frame. And yeah, it reiterates the liquid-cooled battery and the TFT display with smartphone link.
So looking at those numbers, it really feels like they're trying to strike a balance, doesn't it? Performance versus practicality.
Yeah, definitely. They're pushing the performance with the power and low weight, but also keeping an eye on usable range and reasonable charging times. It's find that sweet spot with today's tech.
Makes sense. Now, how does this concept stack up against bikes that are actually out there? The competition, the article compares it, right?
It does. It puts the Concept RR up against the Ducati Moto E, the Harley Livewire S, and the Zero SRF.
Okay, some serious contenders. How does the BMW compare on performance?
Well, its power-to-weight ratio looks really strong because it's so light. The Zero SRF actually has higher peak torque listed, though.
Interesting. What about range and charging?
The BMW's 125-mile estimate is decent, but the Zero and the Harley both claim longer ranges.
Okay.
But the BMW's charging time, that 3 hours to 80%, is quicker than the Ducati and seems pretty competitive with the others.
And that weight advantage keeps coming up.
Absolutely. It's significantly lighter than the others listed, which should give it a real edge and handling feel. Big advantage.
And design-wise, they all look pretty different, I imagine.
Very different. The BMW is all futuristic lines. The Ducati looks like it came straight off the racetrack. The Livewire S has more of a premium cruiser or roadster vibe, different philosophies.
Right. And the million-dollar question?
Yeah.
Or maybe the $20,000 question. Price.
Yeah. The estimate for the BMW Concept RR is between $20,000 and $25,000.
Okay, how does that fit in?
It puts it right in the same ballpark as the Zero SRF and the Livewire S. The Ducati Moto E is mentioned as being more expensive. So BMW seems to be aiming competitively within that premium electric space.
Okay, interesting positioning.
Yeah.
So we've seen the potential, the specs, the rivals. Let's talk frankly about the upsides and downsides. What are the main advantages here?
Well, we've hit on most of them. The fully electric powertrain with that instant torque is a huge one performance, and it's eco-friendly.
Right.
The lightweight carbon fiber construction, that means agility, better handling. The futuristic aerodynamic design looks great and helps efficiency. Advanced tech and connectivity.
Convenience and customization.
Exactly. And overall, it represents sustainable performance with decent range and charging for practical use.
Okay, those are strong positives. But what about the drawbacks? What limitations does the article point out?
The big one still is range compared to gas bikes. 125 miles is good for electric, but, a traditional superbike might easily do 250, 300 miles on a tank.
That's a significant difference for touring.
It is, and that ties into the second point. Charging infrastructure dependency. You need to plan your routes around chargers, especially outside major areas. Less convenient than finding a gas station.
Still a hurdle for some riders.
Definitely. Then there's the price. Even if it's competitive with other electrics, it's still a premium price tag compared to many high-performance gas bikes.
So still quite an investment. Any other limitations?
Yeah, it's designed for the street and track, so, don't expect to take it off-road. It's just not built for that.
Fair enough.
And finally, some riders might just find all the advanced tech a bit much, Maybe a bit overwhelming if you prefer a simpler, more analog experience.
That's a valid point, too. Different strokes.
Yeah.
Okay, the article wraps up with some FAQs, which is helpful. Let's quickly run through a few key ones. First, just to recap, what eyes the BMW Concept RR?
It's BMW's vision of a future electric superbike. High performance, lightweight carbon fiber, advanced tech, sustainable focus, a concept for now.
And how powerful is it, really, compared to gas bikes?
Around 134 horsepower, but the key is that instant torque. The article suggests acceleration-wise, it should feel as quick, or maybe even quicker, than many gas superbikes.
Okay. And the range again. What's the realistic take?
Estimated 125 miles, good for city riding, shorter fun rides. Longer trips need planning.
Charging time.
About 3 hours gets you to 80% on a fast charger.
Is it okay for a beginner rider?
Probably not ideal. The article suggests it's better for experienced riders. The instant power and tech might be a handful for a novice.
Right. And compared to, say, the Zero SRF? What's the quick takeaway?
BMW, lighter, more futuristic design, 0. Longer range, more torque, depends what you prioritize.
Got it. And availability. Can you buy one?
Not yet. It's still just a concept, no official release date, but the tech might show up in future production bikes.
Definitely not for off-roading.
Definitely not. Street and track only.
Okay, great summary of the FAQs. So let's pull it all together. What are the main takeaways you want our listener to leave with?
I think the key thing is that the BMW Concept RR paints a really exciting picture of the electric superbike future. You've got serious performance, really clever use of materials like carbon fiber for lightness, loads of tech, and that sustainable angle.
It's a compelling package.
It really is, but
there are those trade-offs we discussed.
yeah.
The range compared to gas bikes, the reliance on charging stations, the cost. Those are real factors you, the listener, need to weigh up.
Exactly. And that brings up a fascinating question for you to think about, doesn't it? As this technology keeps improving, how are you going to balance things? Performance versus range versus charging convenience.
What's the most critical factor for your own riding?
Precisely. What tips the scale for you when you think about potentially going electric in the coming years?
Definitely something to mull over. Well, hopefully this deep dive gave you a solid understanding of this BMW concept and the exciting evolution happening in electric motorcycles.
Yeah, keep an eye on the space. It's moving fast.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.